Cathlyn Happigal Driscoll here, and today I'm going to show you a short tutorial on how I created this. I was using some new products. So today I was using some Fabre-Castell watercolor pencils. I'd never used those before. And I was using some new brushes. These are silver black velvet. So I am doing something new. And of course my trusty Sharpie, because I love Sharpie. And so come along with me and let's make something fun. So I have been curious about watercolor pencils and I decided to add them to my repertoire. So this is the first time I'm using the Fabre-Castell watercolors. I love the different variety that I got. I am using Carson watercolor paper, 140 pound, and I just drew two quick flowers. I had taken a picture of some roses, so that was my inspiration. And I really had no expectations. I had not watched a lot of tutorials about the watercolor pencils. I had just seen people use them here and there. So I decided to get my own. So on the one flower, I just drew very, very lightly. I did not know how much color I was going to get from it. And then the other one I drew really, really dark. So then I also picked up these new silver brushes. This is black velvet, and I'm using these for the first time as well. And there's the silver brushes. So it was a set of 3. I got them right off of Amazon. And so I just started adding water. And number one, the brushes held a lot of water, which was surprising. Actually, I probably used too much water on the image, but I was surprised how responsive the pencils were. It was really amazing how instantly you just add a touch of water and it sort of melted, you know. So I think it's interesting that you can add pencils to your watercolor, and then when you add water, they just take on a completely different form. One thing that I was quite pleased with the Fabre-Castell watercolor pencils is the amount of pigment that they had. Some watercolors can be very pale and stuff, and I really wasn't sure about the watercolor pencils, how much color they would actually give me, but I was very, very pleased with how much pigment that I got in it. As you can see on the flower that I'm doing right now, I just put in pencil very, very lightly, and you know, just with a little bit of water, I was able to get quite a bit of pigment. And I was very, very pleased with that. To keep the colors separate, I added the water separately to each color, allowing the other sections to dry. I knew that they would blend eventually, but I was just trying to separate all my colors to keep them individual so that we could see all the petals of the flowers. It was about here in the process when I realized, when I started painting in some of the green areas, that I had so much water and so much color from the pigments that I could actually take some of that right from the green leaves or the flowers and create my background colors with that. So I did not even need to add extra lines or draw in anything with the watercolor pencils for the background. I could simply make a light wash just by adding more water, grabbing the color from the flower or from the leaves, and then adding that to the background. So that worked out really, really well for me. one of the last tests that I was doing was picking up the paint with the paintbrush and testing to see if I could flick spots of paint and just grab them. And I was very pleased with the amount of pigment. I was very pleased with the amount of paint on my paintbrush. So I was able to quite easily grab it and flick it and create some texture in my painting. And I did not need to draw in anything extra there. Very, very pleased. Okay, I waited for everything to dry completely, and those who know me know I love my Sharpie. I love adding all my details to my paintings when I am done doing the actual painting part. I love adding details, nuances, texture. It is just such a fun moment for me. I love my Sharpies. Sharpie is like my go-to pen, and I have a very loose style, so even if I paint it tightly, I can loosen up the painting just by adding lines, just by adding texture. I just jump on it right away. I separate the different leaves, and one of the things that I like about doing this is I hold my Sharpie by very far away from the tip. I keep the loose style usually by keeping my hand at the top of the pen and just drawing very loosely back and forth several times. I just really love this effect. It's just my personal style. Maybe you could try it yourself. I think what I like about doing this part of my painting is that I'm adding definition. I'm adding loose definition. I'm adding contrast. I'm adding more textures. And actually, eventually, I'm even adding more elements. I add sprays with little flowers on them. But it's really the definition. I'm really defining. Now, I know you can define with, fine lines and watercolors and, the longer paintbrushes, the riggers and stuff. But for me, I just really like this. It's sort of more of an illustrative style that I have. It looks more like an illustration, but I like that effect. It reminds me of the 50s and 60s, very mid-century modern. What I liked about this painting in particular is that definitely out of my comfort zone, trying different materials and really enjoying the process of exploring with them. But what I also love was that this palette is a little bit different. I usually do things much darker. I tend to love the jewel tones in my paintings, something with very, very high contrast. And this time it's really just the pen that's creating the contrast more than anything. So great colors with the pigments and stuff, but I don't know, this is just a fun part for me. And here I go with the sprays, here I go with my circles and extra little plant things. I don't know, for me it just adds a little something extra, provides contrast, provides just more visual interest, to be honest. So I just love this part. I love when the painting actually all comes together after adding all of these special details. So thank you for coming along with me on my explore with some new products. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Tell all your friends about me. It's Happy Gal. Okay. Hopefully I'll be back soon with yet another tutorial. Thank you for stopping by. Cheers.